For over 70 years, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Marin has worked to inspire joy and justice in an imperfect world, sharing life's journey, celebrating many paths, and acting to make a difference. UU Marin celebrates people from all walks of life. No matter how you make your living or how you experience the sacred, no matter who you are, where you're from, or who you love, you are welcome here. If you're seeking open-hearted community, a place where you can have a real day-to-day impact in the world, and a space for the whole family to grow spiritually, come check out the church at the top of the hill. Come join UU Marin.
This morning, instead of a sharing, we'll be doing a responsive reading together. You can find the reading in the back of the gray hymnal. It's number 647, An Eternal Verity. I will read the bold, and your part is in italics. An eternal verity. Ancient as the home is the temple, ancient as the workbench is the altar.
Ancient as the sword is the sacrificial fire, ancient as the soldier is the priest.
Older than than written language is spoken prayer. Older than painting is the thought of a nameless one. Differing words describe the outward appearance of things. Diverse symbols represent that which stands beyond and within. Ever the vision leads on, with many gods or with one, with a holy land washed by ocean waters, or a holy land within the heart. Because we are human, we shall ever build our altars. Because each has a holy yearning, we offer everywhere our prayers and anthems.
I love that song, Imagine by John Lennon. It makes me want to be one of his dreamers. Does it do that for you too? Except there's one line in there that always irks me. Because when I try to imagine a world without religion, I can live without an afterlife, even heaven, and I certainly can live without hell. Thank God for our Universalist ancestors who recognized that any God worthy of respect would never create anything so bizarre and unfair as hell, as eternal punishment. But religion, I both want and I need. And in particular, religious community. And specifically, Unitarian Universalism and this congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Marin. It's important to me in so many ways. I know why I come here. So why do you? Why are you here? Either in person or on Zoom. Hi, Zoomers. Why does this congregation even exist? Now, we could refer to history. There are reasons this congregation was formed, but that isn't the whole answer. We've survived a lot. Congregations are living things, and they change over time as the members change. New people add something. Others leave, and we lose their continued contributions, although something of their spirit, I think, always remains. Individual members change as well. Our longtime members, I'm looking at you, Dick and Carol, are not the same people they were when they first walked through the other doors, not the construction doors. You're not the same people. And I know I'm not, even though I came way after you two did. Life brings change to the world, to individuals, and to congregations. The rest of you, think back, if you will, about what you were looking for when you first attended this congregation. We're going to hear a song by U2 a little bit later. Milton picked it. He's so cool. It's a U2 song, and the title is I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And I thought it was perfect for today when I read the lyrics. So, did you find what you were looking for when you came here? You don't have to answer out loud, although you could. But how has that changed over time? And how have you changed in what you were looking for now? I love questions. I really do. And I think most Unitarian Universalists love questions too. One could even say that asking questions is a fundamental part of our free faith. We don't have creeds, but instead we have guidelines for ethical behavior, which is what our 7 principles were about, and what our new values in Article 2 are attempting to do. This is not a faith tradition where everyone can do whatever they may feel like doing, whenever they feel like doing it. You got that? That's true. It is an accepting tradition. We do acknowledge our imperfections. We aspire to high ideals, but we also know that we will fail, sometimes quite miserably. That's okay. But the demanding part of our faith is that we keep trying. We keep trying to do just a little bit better. And it isn't easy all the time. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "A person will worship something. Have no doubt about that. We may think our tribute is paid in secret in the dark recesses of our heart, but it will out. That which dominated our imaginations and our thoughts will determine our lives and our character. Therefore, it behooves us to be careful what we worship, for what we are worshiping, we are becoming. Now, some people worship money or success. Some seem to be dominated by a quest for power and control. Some worship beauty or truth, the quest for knowledge. Or maybe they worship simple happiness, comfort, and joy. What do you worship? And why do you come here? Think for a minute about why you came today, this morning. Not why you came in the past, but why you came today. You're here. You got out of bed, you ate breakfast or not, you had coffee or tea or nothing, and you dragged yourself up the hill through the construction zone, and you're here. Why? What are the reasons? And now I want you to shout some of them out. I know some of you are not particularly shy. Please no comments about me, because you're like wondering what I'm going to do today. Just other stuff. Why you would come, why you came this morning, no matter who was preaching. I don't want to hear about me. Thank you. My hair's great. Go ahead. Shout something. Why are you here?
Community.
What?
Community.
Community.
Companionship.
Companionship. The people. Values. What kind of values?
Ethical values.
Ethical values, okay. Coffee, okay, coffee, that's one.
Be with friends.
Be with friends, okay. Desserts?
Henry's.
Oh, Henry's Desserts, yes. That's an attraction. Milton, we could say music and Milton, yes, Milton's awesome. What? Inspiration.
Shared compassion.
Shared compassion. Okay, you got a lot of them that I had. I had a list. I have a list. Of course I have a list. Some people say they come to the church, and I told you couldn't do this, because they think the sermons are entertaining. And yeah, sometimes you have a crazy affiliated minister who makes jokes. And you never know what I'm going to say. I mean, trust me, you don't know what I'm going to say, because you know what? I don't even know what I'm going to say half the time. But you could find much better entertainment on TV, in the movies, or at a live comedy show, perhaps. And some of you said you come from Milton, you come for the music. But you can find great music in a lot of places, at concerts, music festivals, even on Spotify. They created a great playlist for me. And the advantage of getting music other places, or maybe it's a disadvantage, I don't know. But you can pick your favorite style. You can go to a symphony and classical music. You can go to a rock concert. You can go to a gospel choir, visit country music, bluegrass, folk, maybe even heavy metal. You can do that. But at church, because we got a lot of different people who want a lot of different things, sometimes you might have to listen to music that isn't your favorite style. And just as others may be merely tolerating the music that you love, it's good to be challenged that way. And sometimes you might even discover something new, some new style that has more than you thought it did. So that's my music rant. But, Milton and I were talking, when we were talking about this service, about how much he's grown, stretching. I mean, he's so talented. I mean, he can play anything. Clearly he can play anything, whatever genre. He's amazing. And he's stretched and grown, and it's been good. It's been good. Yes, he's nodding his head. I'm not quoting him wrong. And I think it's been good for the congregation, too. And you can't find this kind of eclectic variety at any concert or symphony hall. Some people say they come for intellectual stimulation. to hear words and ideas that might make them think. Of course, you could go to a college-level lecture for that, and there's lots of other places you can go to stimulate your brain cells. Maybe, too, you come because you care about social justice. And this community works very hard in many ways to bring more justice, equity, and compassion into this really hurting world of ours. But if social justice action is your only reason, there are literally thousands of other groups you could join that are doing fabulous work for a wide variety of social causes. If you're looking for inspiration here, for motivations, for ideas on how to live in this complex and sometimes confusing world, you could read poetry, listen to TED Talks or podcasts, or maybe even join a self-help group. If you're hurting and looking for comfort, nobody said that, but I know people come to church looking for comfort because there's a lot of hurt in our lives and in the world. But if you're looking for that, you could go into therapy or get a life coach, a support group. And some people come to church to make friends, and I think most of the people here have done that. Or even to find a life partner, and people do that too. They find their life partners here. But you could also do that at a bar, a health club, a bowling league, or maybe even through social media, which is how my kids all met their partners. Some people also come to church to find God, the holy, to connect with their inherent spirituality, that ancient worship. There are also other ways to do that, perhaps. You can go out in nature, take a hike, meditate, watch a sunset, plant flowers, or play with your children. You'll surely find the holy many of those places. Did I cover all the reasons that people might come to church, pretty much? I think we did together anyway. But I did forget one, which reminds me of a joke. I don't know how that happened. A lot of things remind me of jokes. It's Sunday morning and the alarm goes off. A woman turns over in the bed and groans. She looks at her partner and moans, "I don't want to go to church today. I know the sermon's going to be boring. And people are going to ask me to do things I don't have time for. I'd rather just stay home and sleep in today." Partner turns to her with a sigh. Honey, you have to go to church today." Why do I have to go to church?" "Honey, you have to go to church because you're the minister." See, you laughed. It was a joke. We need to laugh all the time, I think. There are many reasons to come to church, but unless you are the minister, there are a lot of other options that you could do on Sunday morning. And even ministers can decide on a different career choice. There's very few of us that are in it for the money. But how many places can you go where all of those reasons that we come here apply? Robin Bartlett, who's a Unitarian Universalist religious educator, tells us to go to church for community, for learning, for solidarity, for a good word, for love, for hope, for comfort, even for salvation. Go to church because you can't imagine not going. Go to church because of what your church demands of you. Go to church because you cry in the worship service at least once a month. Go to church because you look forward to seeing the people. Go to church because your church forces you to put your money where your mouth is, to use your financial resources to make a statement about what has worth. Go to church because you are known here. Go to church because you want to be known. Go to church because you pray for the same imperfect, ragtag group of people all week until you meet again. That line resonated with me. And she goes on. Go to church because you need to in order to get through the next week. Go to church because if you miss a week, you feel like something was really missing in your life. Go to church because your church community helps you go deeper, to risk transformation, to yank you further down a path to ultimate reality, to truth, to God, kicking and screaming. Go to church because it is a statement to yourself and your children about what has value and meaning. Go to church to find your purpose and live it. Give yourself the gift of church, she says. And she goes on to say, specifically addressing parents who say they come to church for their children. If church is not a gift for you, it won't be a gift for your children. You know that old line that we borrow from the plane instructions we hear read by flight attendants? Apply your own oxygen mask first before you apply your child's, right? Well, you are your child's religious educator and oxygen mask. Not our RE staff or curricula, not the minister, you. That's a big responsibility, and maybe you don't fill up to the task, because few of us do. But if we aren't getting our spiritual needs met, our religious yearnings satiated, our deepest cries in the night soothed, our need to serve and be served, our God-sized hole occasionally filled, emptied, then filled up again, then we're never going to be up to the task of helping our children learn to do the same. She says, don't go to church for your children. Go to church for you. You deserve it. Your children deserve it. And this brutal and beautiful world needs you to. That last line is, I think, worth repeating. This brutal and beautiful world needs you to. How important is this congregation? How important is this faith of ours? Not just to those of us who gather here each Sunday, but also to others out in our town, in our state, in our country, in our world. I think we offer a vital service if we thrive as a faith tradition. We offer hope to the young person wondering if their life is worth living because they are gay or transgender. We offer hope to the recovering alcoholic, to the person who is homeless, to the eccentric thinker who thinks everyone thinks is just crazy, to the members of conservative religions who worry that their questions about it all are somehow sinful, and to all the people who are suffering in so many ways from a culture that is far from accepting of differences and difficulties. Even if those folks never find their way here, even if they never sit in this room with us, if they know about us, if they know about Unitarian Universalism, we have given them some hope, and we have made a difference. We've offered an alternative, a radical alternative, which is a community deeply grounded in love. Now, Unitarian Universalism is not a sit back and enjoy your own spiritual understanding kind of faith. We aren't navel gazers. No. We are called to serve and spiritual growth. Our spiritual growth, the community's spiritual growth, is what fuels our social action. We can learn to love the whole world, even including ourselves. And we can learn to very effectively act to make a difference. So if you've been thinking this morning about the reason you come here, I hope you've noticed a few more that are probably your reasons too. But I have another question for you. How much would it cost if you went to all those other places to get what you find here at church? How much more would you be spending on tuition, on therapy, on concert and movie tickets, or on drinks in a bar if you did not come to church? What about the things that are truly priceless? How could you possibly meet anywhere else the diverse and wonderful people we have here in this religious community? Where else would you be welcomed with such open and loving arms, no matter who you are or how you're feeling that day? Where else are tears and laughter both not only acceptable but treated as precious? Our theology is about life, about continual new beginnings, second, third, and fourth chances. It's a life-saving, life-enhancing theology. How much is your life worth? If someone asked you what you value most, your money or your life, what would you answer? So if all your money is going to things that are critical to your survival, for rent, for food, for transportation, for shoes for the kids and school clothes, no worries and no guilt. We're just happy you're here and we welcome you. But for me, this congregation is important enough that Ann and I looked at it. We actually give more money here than we spend combined on anything else that might be considered discretionary. And that includes travel, entertainment, restaurants, concerts, whatever. And we do some of that stuff, but we spend more here because, it really is the best deal in town. It's really, and I hope you see it that way too. I mean, it's worth it to me. And, this year's been a lot because of the capital campaign. We've also donated some of our things to the legacy. After we die, you'll even get more money from us. Don't kill me now. But when you think about why you come to church, think about what it's worth to you and how important this community is. Not just for yourself, but for all of us. Okay, one last joke, and it's kind of telling today. But if you don't know what eschatology means, it's not the end of the world. Okay, we got a couple people that got it. That's hilarious, okay? It's a really hilarious theological joke. For those of you that don't get it, there were a few blank faces. Eschatology is the theological stance of a particular religion on the end of the world. So it's not the end of the world if you don't understand eschatology. But eschatology is not something most Unitarian Universalists worry about much, except when it comes to human-caused destruction. We don't take the book of Revelation at all literally. We may worry about environmental disasters, war, political unrest that might end life on this planet. But our various views of God and the divine really don't include the idea of a God who will destroy the earth at some future date. It's just, Our rapture is right here and now. That's what we're looking for. Our theology is about life, about continual new beginnings, second, third, and fourth chances. Love is at the center of this faith. Love is why I'm here, and I know that's why you're here too. Amen. Blessed be, and namaste.